All right. Here's another one.
All right.
A fight over a handicapped parking space sends an elderly woman to the hospital. Now, I personally, Radio Shack is out of business or going out of business.
Yeah.
So there's a Radio Shack not far from me.
Okay.
And I'm always amazed because I've seen this happen more times than not.
Mm-hmm.
How many people will park in a handicap space and then they'll hang one of those handicap placards like from their rearview mirror or whatever.
Okay.
And then they'll get out of their car and they'll walk to the store like no problem.
Yeah.
So either they have one of those placards because perhaps somebody in their family is handicapped that they have to chauffeur around.
Right.
But then when they're not with that person or whatever, they'll park in the handicap parking space anyway and use that, whatever.
Sure.
So I went to the Radio Shack at a strip mall not far from me, and I parked, and this gal pulled in, at the same time, and she pulled into the handicap zone.
Okay.
And she gets out of her car, and she got out, about 10 paces ahead of me.
Right.
And I looked at her car, like, what is this woman doing? And I know she knew that I looked at her car, like, why are you parked there?
Right.
I didn't say nothing to her. I didn't, whatever, but I kind of looked at her car like, okay. And then I see her walk out there. So I could tell that she was acting kind of guilty.
Yeah.
She got to the door of the Radio Shack before me.
Yeah.
And you know me, I'm a pretty chivalrous guy.
Mm-hmm.
Well, she pulls the door open and she insists that I go in front of her. Like it's like she's paying a penance or something. Because she knew that I kind of had that look like,
right.
What the fuck are you doing?
Bitch.
Yeah, exactly. So she's like holds the door and I go, no, go ahead. And she goes, no, you go right ahead. You go. And I just so bad wanted to say, not bad for a handicapped person.
Yeah.
But anyway, I see it happen all the time.
Sure.
So anyway, in Greenfield, Wisconsin.
Oh boy, up in Red's neighborhood.
Exactly. A fight over a handicapped parking spot sent a 71-year-old woman to the hospital with a badly broken leg and an injured hip.
Jesus Christ. 71 and she's fighting?
Apparently.
All right.
Keeza Perkins,
okay,
guilty,
yeah,
told police in Greenfield that she was waiting for a handicap spot.
Okay.
When the elderly woman stole it.
Stole it?
She stole it. You know how somebody might be pulled in on one side and like waiting for someone to pull out, and then somebody just like pulls it, like comes up the aisle the other way and just,
yeah,
that's probably what happened.
Okay.
And just like pulls right in.
Right.
Surveillance video shows Perkins walking up to an elderly woman's car and yelling through a window.
And she's 71?
The woman who pulled into the handicap spot is 71.
And how old is the other woman?
It doesn't say.
Okay.
But she apparently is younger.
Yeah, I'm going to guess.
Okay. After a moment, the elderly woman got out of her car.
Right.
A witness says Perkins then chest butted her.
All right.
John Rawlings saw the confrontation. He rushed to help the elderly woman lying on the pavement.
Right.
This lady chest-butted, Rawlings said. From what she told me when I was tending to her, she just had hip surgery done. She couldn't move. It may have come undone.
Oh, my God.
Another bystander flagged down a police officer. Perkins allegedly told police, "It's not my fault the elderly woman bounced off my big chest." She was arrested for aggravated battery.
All right.
Police say her driver's license was suspended and the handicap placard in her car was invalid.
Jesus. Nice.
And it was also not in her name. 3 strikes against her right there.
I guess.
So she basically had a suspended license.
Right.
The placard was invalid.
Right.
And it was not in her name. So this woman wants to park in a handicap parking thing.
Yeah.
She has no business even being on the road.
It's nice.
Then this elderly woman who had a hip surgery,
Right.
she chest bumps her and breaks her leg and knocks her hip out of joint.
Dude, look at this photo or this video from Phil Ooze. That's the most disturbing thing I've ever seen in my life.
Is that guy in his underwear with no legs?
And no arms.
What the fuck?
It's boxing Elena in a fight.
Jeez.
What the hell is that?
Oh,
He has no legs.
no arms.
Half arms.
He's in a powered wheelchair and he's wearing his underpants.
And he fell out. What the fuck is that? I gotta say, I kind of like that. Jesus Christ, the shit I see on this show.
I know.
God, I don't think any human is supposed to see that.
Sure.
God.
So Perkins' lawyer
Oh, no.
said that the confrontation was the result of a misunderstanding.
Yeah, I'd guess.
The lawyer issued this following statement.
Okay.
This was an unfortunate accident. An accident.
Yeah.
Accidents are not planned.
Okay.
That came about after a misunderstanding. Talk about spin.
Yeah, no kidding.
Between 2 individuals. Miss Perkins is herself disabled. However, but she was able to get out of her car and chest bump this old lady.
The car that she wasn't supposed to be in the first place.
Right, with a placard she wasn't supposed to have that wasn't registered to her.
Right.
However, the fact that her disability is not immediately noticeable
Yeah.
led to a confrontation between the two. It's not immediately noticeable.
What's her disability? On welfare?
Yeah, that's probably it. More than anything, this case highlights the need for individuals to be aware of and sensitive to the fact that many people may suffer from disabilities and ailments that are not always readily noticeable.
No, it doesn't highlight that at all. I don't see anything in this case that highlights what you just said. Know what I see as the highlight? This woman should have been fucking arrested and fucking done some time for assaulting this fucking broke leg woman.
Yeah, she could get out of her car and go over and assault this lady, but her whatever her disability is, it just wasn't readily noticeable.
Yeah, so what they're going to claim is that her disability was mental.
Yeah.
What
Well,
they're
I
gonna
don't
claim.
think handicap parking has anything to do with mental disability.
I guess it could if you can't remember where you parked. But
We believe that the facts will come out as this matter progresses, and that ultimately Miss Perkins will be cleared of the charges.
Miss Perkins is doing some time. Miss Perkins is definitely going to do some time for driving on an illegal license, for fucking having somebody else's handicap placard, and for assault.
Right.
She's doing time.
Right.
She's not going to be cleared. How are they going to clear? She broke this fucking woman's hip.
Yeah, and she chest bumped her and walked back to her car on top of that.
Yeah.
Wasn't readily a noticeable thing.
Yeah. Shut the fuck up. She fucking abused this woman. She does time for that.
Sure.
Good Lord.
I know.
Where was this at? Gary, Indiana?
No, this was in Wisconsin.
Okay. All right. What in the... I can't handle these guys. Nathan from Kentucky and Phil Ooze. What the fuck?
That guy with no legs at all is whipping ass.
Well, I gotta tell you, I'm gonna jump in on this fray. Since everybody else can do it, I'm gonna tell you that there's a movie out there that people need to see called Crippled Masters.
Okay. It's
about two guys. One guy had his arms cut off in a fight.
Okay.
This is like one of these Japanese movies.
Sure.
The other guy had his legs burned off with acid. They poured acid on his legs and burned his legs off.
Wow.
These guys team up to fight crime.
Okay.
It's a tag team, one that has arms and one that has legs. It's called Crippled Masters.
Nice.
Ryan Francis, the star of the Thanksgiving movie.
Sure.
He showed me that at Rock on the Range last year. It's fucking horrific. But they do all the fucking kung fu moves.
Right.
But they like have to take turns doing them because one has to jump and one has to fucking hang with his hands. It's fucking fantastic in a really twisted way. Crippled Masters.
Wow.
So there you go, Nathan and Phil Ooze. Sink your teeth into that. I can play too.
There you go.